Preparing for the Feast of the Holy Family, I spent some time reflecting on my own family, and it was just an interesting experience of coming to a deeper level of pride than I think I probably have before. When I look back at my own experience of family life, now I can see a sense of pride in each and every one of my family members for who they are and what they've done and who they've become. But it hasn't always been that way. I mean, there's been plenty of times along the way where, I haven't been proud. I haven't been proud of myself, haven't been proud of them. And, really, I mean, we all have that experience, even if we come to that place of pride in our families. So, I think it's just an important starting point, I think, for our reflection as we journey on this life as a mixed bag. And when we hold up the Holy Family in front of us, it's like, yeah, they're an ideal to strive for. They're a gift to us that we might have, perfection in family life. And they're also an echo of the beginning of how things were really supposed to be. But even in that, in the readings we hear, I'm sure, Mary, Joseph, and Jesus lived out, the prescriptions of the law and what was just described for healthy relationship between, parents and their children, and obedience and love and respect and all this stuff. But I see the gospel reading and it just makes me wonder, what was that experience of, fleeing into Egypt like? What was that stressful time really like for them? I understand that Mary and Jesus were perfect, and Joseph was, pretty much the greatest of saints. But, even in the Gospels, Jesus reacts with a certain level of emotion, with his arguments with the leaders of Israel and others. What were those moments of tension like? What was it like for them to make that journey, run into danger, not know what was coming next? Maybe they weren't provided for from time to time. Is there room for worry in the hearts of Mary and Joseph anyway? Is there room for a sense of friction at least between Mary and Joseph? I think Joseph certainly would have had a sense of a worry. Yeah, really worry, apprehension. How am I going to provide for these people on their journey? And I bet you there was some level of conflict. Maybe not to the point even of sin, but it wasn't that they were emotionless in their life. Sometimes we think the Holy Family is a museum piece. Put them up on the shelf and they're unmoved by anything. No, the most perfect of hearts have the fullest expression of the heart. And again, perhaps all three of them, living their life, without sin for, I'm not saying Joseph was without sin, but you get the point. I'm just trying to make sure nobody yells at me for saying something wrong, right? I don't want to put any heresy on the internet. But, the thing is, big, perfect hearts have big emotion, big expression of emotion coming from them. So I would venture to guess that what most people think of the Holy Family, in that statue, put away, not to be touched, is far from what they really experienced in life. So we're not that, we're not them, but at the same time too, I think it's easier to emulate them. We recognize that they're real people with real hearts, with real wants, with real desires, with real annoyances and real everything, and even to approach them too for help along the way. Let's be drawn into our place in the Holy Family where Jesus gives us a privileged place to relate to mom and dad, to Mary and Joseph, and truly too allow our experience in Nazareth lead us out into the world to be members of our own holy families.